About that line, man. It's not about your retribution. It's about my ascension. Damn! My boy Will Ospreay and my gal Mercedes Moné doing what they do better than most can do what they do. Dynamite 5-7 for the year 2025. This is basically your full review from last night's Dynamite show. I say basically because I was not able to catch it live. I was tuning in and out, trust me, because I was seeing some good stuff, especially in these promos. And a backstage segment with Mercedes that leaked into the arena. We'll go over that. But for the most part, I had to catch this afterwards. My New York Knicks were in a huge battle against the Boston Celtics playoff semifinals. It was game 2. The Knicks were not supposed to even win a game in this series. We were not given a chance. It was supposed to be a clean sweep. Celtics are supposed to win it all. The championship. But we came into game 1 overcoming a 20-point deficit, and we won game 1. We were down 20 points in game 2 last night. We came back to win in the final seconds by 1 point. Back-to-back massive W's. A huge W for my Knicks. And then moments later, my New York Yankees hit a walk-off sacrifice fly over the Padres in the 10th inning. So a huge night for my New York sports teams. So yeah, Dynamite got bumped a bit. But I was able to catch most of this show in totality. And that's what we're going to go over. If I missed anything, it's only a segment or two. Probably just some backstage stuff. I'm going to try to go over everything on this show, trust me. And the highlight for BC is literally my gal Mercedes Moné and my boy Will Ospreay. And it's funny and ironic, right? I put up an upload late last night. Some of you guys may have already caught that. A lot of you guys don't even know that I did because it was that late. I think it came out around midnight for a lot of you guys. But I did my notes, my due diligence on NXT on Tuesday night. And then I was just super busy all day yesterday. So there was no time to get that out to you guys. But I did all the work on the notes. Watched it with due diligence, had my ducks in a row. I'm like, there's no way you guys are not getting an NXT review. I did the work. I don't care how late that upload gets out to you guys. So it went out late. But I mentioned that because, first, make sure you guys do catch that, if you didn't know that went out late last night. But the main topic in that upload, and that amped up for yesterday, was to do with AEW and Will Ospreay's comments about WWE. We spent a good 25 minutes on that conversation. Really good discussion. When he was asked about WWE, he could have played it safe, gave a good PC safe answer. Instead, he did what Will Ospreay always does, gives you his truth. He doesn't hold back, and he doesn't care about the backlash or what people are going to say afterwards. This is how he's feeling. He was asked a question, and that's the response, the answer you're going to get. And it was a loaded answer, a lot to unpack. He was very candid. He gave an amplified and blunt response to how he feels about the WWE product and the talent that's in those walls of World Wrestling Entertainment. We talk about it. I gave you the quote, and we had a good discussion afterwards. So that's all in late last night's upload. It's up on the channel for everybody, not just channel members. Any subscriber can go and check that out. But I mentioned that because that was recorded before Dynamite. And I said in that upload that what draws a lot of people to Will Ospreay, all the spots and the wild stuff that he does, flips and dives, and he makes you go, whoa, and he gives you 6, 7, 25-star matches. All of that is fine. But what drew me to Will Ospreay and why I became a supporter of Ospreay is when he tones it down and he slows it up. And I see how good he is, man. And he makes you believe, right? You could have wrestlers train for years, make it to the big time, or just stay in the local independents and bingo holes, but they just don't get this cadence. They don't get timing. They don't have the mannerisms or the expressions that are needed. Maybe they just don't have the it factor in totality, but it never connects. Wrestlers that this is their career, this is just what they do. They just don't connect. And then you can have people that are not just wrestlers. This is not necessarily their career, but man, they're ultra believable. I gave an example of Shane McMahon last night. Every time Shane McMahon was in a feud, whether you bash Shane McMahon, whether you wanted to see Shane McMahon or not, he was always uber believable, right? Amplified realism. I can speak. More coffee, BC. Remix. Amplified realism with Shane McMahon. And it's because I think he always had something to prove to himself and to his pops, Vince. So like when Kurt Angle was supposed to put him through that glass, what was that, King of the Ring many years ago? And the glass wouldn't break and he kept getting dropped on his head and Shane was like, again. And Angle's like, I don't think I should do this. And the referee came out and said, Vince said no. And Shane said, again. And it just wouldn't break and he kept getting dropped on his dome piece. I mean, yeah, you believed in it because it became all so real at that point. But every time Shane McMahon was in there, you just got this sense of believability, this realism to another level that most wrestlers can't even give you. Ospreay gives that out. You truly believe that this is everything and the only thing that he's worked for. It's what he has, and that's it. And that comes out in his promos and when he wrestles. So that's what drew BC to Will Ospreay. There's that believability factor. And I don't need the flips and the dives and the spots and all of that, man. That's good for the hoopla, for everybody, ADD, ADHD, whatever, and you need to constantly watch wrestlers like they're ping pong balls. Glorified gymnastics. I don't need that. And it's cool to see somebody who, that's how a lot of individuals perceive Ospreay. They don't realize there's a whole nother side of Ospreay that makes him a legit star. I love that. And last night you got to see that. And it was just so wild how we were talking about that in that upload before Dynamite. And then Ospreay got on the stick and cut the promo that he did with Hangman Page. Damn, that was good, man. And then there was a backstage segment where Ospreay was cutting a promo with MJF. And that was so damn good. Hilarious. MJF, man, almost made BC spit out his coffee. MJF dropped the line. What was it? Backstage, MJF and Ospreay. MJF says, you're the reason they put directions on shampoo bottles. Even Renee Paquette was trying to hold back laughter, man. Ospreay was laughing because that was pretty damn good. MJF looked right at Ospreay, said, you're the reason they put directions on shampoo bottles. But when MJF went to walk away, man, Ospreay grabs his arm, slingshots him back, looks right in his eyes, man. And he gives him that dire warning, man. No, you do not look past. Ospreay's not playing around. Might as well give this dude a hard hat, an axe, and a hose because this dude's putting out fires everywhere. He's facing the fire of the Callis family. He's facing the fire of MJF over here. Over here, there's another wildfire called Hangman Page. And Ospreay's everywhere, man. And he wants everybody to know that he's putting in the work. He feels he already has. He still continues to do such. And while everybody else is running around thinking they're in the top spot, Ospreay's saying, hold up. Hold my coffee. You're getting punched in the face either way. I like Ospreay, man. That was really good, him and Hangman. Mercedes last night. Are you kidding me? That caught BC off guard. I thought I was into the Hayter interview. I love those sit-downs. Jim Ross used to do them back in the day on WWE Raw. You guys remember the Kane one when Kane fucking dropped Jim Ross, lit him on fire? You guys, that was a real, that's when Raw was good and like moments happened and you had things to talk about. It was a television show. So when Raw went off the air, you were talking about it because there was so much happened. So Jim Ross was doing what they did last night, right? Those sit-down backstage interviews. Renee, it's you know, you'd see it for like before the Super Bowl or before an NFL game, and they're talking to the athlete. And fucking Kane just fucking got up and dropped Jim Ross and lit him on fire. It was awesome, man. This didn't happen, but Mercedes came out of nowhere, man. Takes Jamie Hayter and takes her for a ride out into this unique arena. We'll talk about that, man. We'll go over all this. It won't take too much time. I know you guys, again, that was a late upload yesterday, so I want to give you guys to check that out. Time to check that out. And I know you guys want to go about your Thursdays. It's a big weekend in the community. Obviously, you have Backlash from World Wrestling Entertainment. I hope to be, maybe we can do that, like at least the first match live, by the way, Saturday night. So subscribe, notify, just smash all the buttons down below. And you guys will know if we do go live at any point through this weekend. Smash that up, obviously. Helps out the algorithm, supports the channel, but it also lets BC know you're fully amplified. So we're going to cover all of this, guys. In totality, again, huge win for the Knicks and the Yankees. So that was, it was a lot to kind of digest. And I also do a lot of work for my Yankees, my Knicks, and New York sports. So I had to make sure I was doing my proper due diligence notes on all of that for other work that I do. And so there was a lot that I had to, I was wearing a lot of hats. And as I always say, if you're going to wear a lot of hats, you got to make sure you're doing right and justice by all of them. Too many times people try to wear too many hats and nothing is coming out right. They should probably just be focusing on one thing and doing that correctly. Oh, I don't know. Hunter Helmsley and creative, by the way. That's a good example. But we're going to get into this. What I want to do, I want to end this cold open teaser in this opening monologue. I want to end it on this note. I just brought up Hunter Helmsley. And I think, because we're about to talk AEW, and this is usually where, because WWE is a more well-known product, it's been around decades more than AEW, it's got more fans, a lot more chill type too, you know what I mean? They'll just accept anything WWE does, so they don't even want to hear about another promotion. So this is, this is where individuals, they'll get up in their feels, right? They don't want to hear about AEW, especially anything good about AEW. AEW bad, that's it. When WWE does so horrible booking, bad creative, it's just a bad show. Hunter is just not creative at all. They don't want to talk about it. They just want to shift focus to AEW and talk about how bad they are. Well, dude, they're just 6 years old-ish, something like that. They haven't been around as long as WWE. They're going to go through growing pains. It's going to happen for another several years. But just letting WWE off the hook isn't the way to go. But a lot of these fans, they don't understand that. You know, they just shill for a company, and that's just where it is. So I want to say this before we get into AEW. If you're being honest, both these companies have so much work to do. To actually put together a good show from top to bottom in totality, they have a lot of work to do. There is still so much work and so much creative and so much attention to detail that is needed. These shows have to be more fun and they have to be more intriguing, more captivating. They just have to be. But what I will say from my assessment and my critiquing both these companies, the conclusion is pretty simple. WWE is booking for kids. That's it. WWE is situated for kids. If you need any more evidence of that, look at Monday Night Raw. How many times did they do a cut to kids in the crowd? It was more than we've seen in a long time, guys. Jey Uso's out there, and they were just loving all of the kid reactions. Just all the kids yeeting. Pat McAfee's out there, and in his promo, he's talking about the kids and doing it for the kids. And he was once one of those kids watching WWE, and they were panning to the kids like, yeah, Pat. And you just look at the booking. It's pretty simple. WWE plays it safe. Plays it safe. Too safe, to the point where the product has gotten so damn stale, repetitive, redundant. And you can say AEW is the worst product in the world. It's the worst wrestling show. You can come up with all of these things to say about AEW. That's fine. That's your prerogative. That's how you feel. Spit it out. But what I will say about AEW is I at least have the feeling that at any moment, anything could actually happen. Because they have the leeway to do such. The wrestlers will want to take that risk, and Tony will go out of his way with the networks backing to a point to allow them to be as creative as they would like to be. And I love that. WWE used to be that. So you could say the show is still bad. It still has so much work to do. No question. I'll be the first to tell you, AEW in totality, I could pick a bunch of things that need to either be off the show, things need to be added, things need to be rearranged, like nearly in totality. I get it, trust me. But because they're still a young company, 6-7 years in, when Vince McMahon was really trying to get his traction, guys, growing pains still happened. When Vince was really starting to get onto his groove, find that momentum, right? WrestleMania 1 and 2 and 3 came along, and those record attendances. Don't act like WrestleMania 9, 10, and 11 didn't come around, and WrestleMania 13 wasn't there. Those were rough years, but that was after he's already been there a decade. At the top. So, yeah, nobody's letting AEW off the hook, but they have to go through they have to truly find themselves. There's some people in the community, and I understand it's a way to make a quick buck, right? Speak positive of WWE because there's more potential fans to reach. So if you shill for WWE, if you talk more positively, if you don't say anything bad about WWE or Hunter, you'll probably get the views, the clicks. I get it. Way to make a buck, especially if this is your sole income, like it is for a lot of podcasters, journalists, content creators. Sad to say, but they have to depend on that. So, and bashing AEW seems to be the cool thing to do. So, hey, make a buck over here by praising World Wrestling Entertainment, make a buck over here for shitting on AEW. But on this channel, I don't have to. I don't have to do that. I'm going to have nice, expensive stuff. Yay me, because I work my ass off in so many areas in this world, not just professional wrestling. This channel was started because, hey, this is what I love. This is my hobby. This is my free time. It becomes almost like a job as you become more successful. There's so much more that goes into it. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of work. But the second it feels like a job, the second that I feel like I have to do something or I'm on a schedule, absolutely not doing it. That's when I would just stop the channel. It should not feel like a job. So on this channel, you'll never get that. You'll never get me just praising something and shitting on something because that's what I'm supposed to be doing in the community because everyone else is doing that. Absolutely not. AEW has not been around long enough. They're going to go through those growing pains. We're going to critique it. We're going to, unfortunately, have to call out the bad and what needs to be changed up. But WWE has been around for decades. They have no excuse. And we're at a time right now in World Wrestling Entertainment where they're taking more money from you than ever before, and they're giving you less in return. Less creativity, less exciting, captivating, fun entertainment. These shows are redundant. They are stale. At no moment do I feel anything can happen. It's just business as usual, status quo. It's almost as if. It is literally, they're just trying to get these shows over with. Because every time a show ends, boom, we fulfilled our obligations to Netflix. Boom, we fulfilled our obligations to USA Network, NBC, Universal, Comcast. Boom, we fulfilled our commitment to the fans that bought the tickets in attendance. We could just move on. Another buck here, another buck here. Let's get more advertisements. Let's fill the ring more with advertisements. Let's put more even advertisements on Netflix, our show. Let's put more advertisements on the USA Network. More money is what they're asking for, but they're giving you less. And on top of that, it's just promoted to kids now. This is a kids show only, WWE. And that's what's sad. Is that they turn this into just about making money. BC, it's a business. What do you expect? Yes, but you still have to have standards for your business. The second you turn into just greediness, that'll catch up to you. Even Vince knew that. He would never pimp his ring out for all these advertisements. Even Vince knew that there had to be a cap on commercials and advertisements. There's no cap anymore. There's nothing. There's nothing stopping Endeavor, Silver Lake, TKO, WWE, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Ari Emanuel, Nick Khan. There's nothing stopping them from trying to take every damn dime. And as long as they don't have to give you much in return because there's enough shills blowing smoke up their ass, they don't have to change anything. That's what's frustrating. The amount of money they're taking from individuals that are so willingly, acceptingly there with their wooden bowl and wooden spoon going, please, sir, can I have some more? And they're like, sure, you can have some more lackluster, boring storylines. You just give me $200 more. Okay, Ma, Dad, $200 more. I can get this PLE with 5 matches with one decent storyline. It's bullshit. It's for kids, man. Look at Monday Night Raw. Look at how many shots of the kids and how much they were just trying to promote that aspect. Look at Monday Night Raw, look at SmackDown. There's no adult. There's nobody over the age of 12 that can truly look into a camera or talk to their buddies or their friends at school. There's nobody over the age of 12 is saying they were excited for Monday Night Raw or SmackDown or that any of it was fun. You could say Pat McAfee cut an okay promo after he was done blowing smoke up Michael Cole's ass in the town that they were in. And then he said, yes, I was, this is a job for you, Gunther. For me, this is my passion, and I always wanted to do this. Okay, good. Paul Heyman, he turned red, almost passed out from his promo. Okay. That's all you had, man. Nobody's talking about Otis versus Rusev. Stop. Nobody's talking about Penta versus McDonald's. Nobody is talking about Sheamus, Austin Theory. Nobody's talking about the world title match that ended with Sami Zayn interference, or CM Punk with a steel chair as well. No contest, disqualification, whatever. Good night, everybody. Was that exhilarating for you? Did you see how CM Punk hit Seth with a steel chair? Yes, I did. And did you see how it said Paul Levesque McMahon and Lee Fitting? They produced it. Yes, I saw the credits and everything. Yeah. All praise Helmsley's amazing creative Monday Night Raw. You had nothing. You had shit. Stop. The only thing we were talking about, the biggest headline was Lyra Valkyria looks sexy in her little miniskirt. That's it. And I'm supposed to, when the red light goes on and the mic is live, I'm supposed to go, oh, what a Raw. My goodness. That's fake enthusiasm. It's as fake as The Rock and Hunter Hearst Helmsley want you to always know that pro wrestling is. Right? They're always at every turn trying to expose the business. The Rock and Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Don't forget, guys. It's like your morning wake-up call. Don't forget, guys. Wrestling's fake. Don't forget, guys. This is all planned, predetermined, scripted, rehearsed, planned. Fake as fake can be. Capital F, capital A, capital K, capital E. Fake, fake, fake. Thank you, Hunter. Thank you, Rock. We know that. The people at the top of these companies should not be exposing the business more than anybody else in the business. Other talent or fans. It's the people at the top. The Rock and Hunter Helmsley always want you to know how fake this is. They want to pull back the curtain and show you guys how cool they are. We're going to expose all the tricks. Thank you. Said nobody ever. Nobody, if you're over the age of 12, is talking about how WWE is banging right now. Unless they're lying to you. They're faking it. Or they got to make a buck because they're on platforms like this, and this is sole income. I get it in that case, man. It's sad. But, I mean, if you got to put bread on the table, I hear you. You know, you're going to have to shill for the WWE, and you're going to have to rip apart AEW, and that's sad to say, but that's what a lot of individuals have to do today. AEW Dynamite. It's 5, it's 7, it's 2025. Ospreay Page. Let's go. Yeah. This is what I'm talking about. These are the promos I like, man. This is what got BC some energy. This is what's like, yes, I like this, man. And I think of Hangman Page as a face. I know he can take on anybody. He's kind of like, he's not a tweener. He is more of a face, I guess. But he can take on anybody right now, and you just believe it because it's Hangman Page. And I don't like face versus face or heel versus heel. Trust me. This came out of, this is because it's a tournament. So if you're going to do these type of things, this is the place to do it. In a tournament, just get it done. Face versus face, heel versus heel. Because that way is the only way it would make sense. Because it's a tournament, that's where the chips fell, man. This person won that match. They won that match. That just happens to be a face versus a face. So I like, that's the only time that it's acceptable for a BC, unless you have a really good story attached to it. But I found myself last night watching these two in the ring, and before they even started spewing off, I was like, hey, this could work. And it did. Ospreay is out there, and he says, basically, this is a quote. It's a little bit of a paraphrase, but this was basically word for word what Ospreay said to Hangman Page. He says, while you're trying to find your smile against an MJF or a Christopher Daniels or my friend Swerve, I'm the one they call for media. I'm the one doing the press and taking pictures with all these people and their kids. And when they ring that bell, I'm the one showing the world that this is where the best wrestle. He says, it's not about your retribution. It's about my ascension. Oh, come on, bro. That could easily, guys, be the line of the year so far. I know it's only May, 5 months into the year. But in terms of promos in pro wrestling, that could be the line of the year, or at least top 3. I'd have to go back and really think about some of the better promos this year. And that's in any company. But that's what I mean about the realism. That's why I brought that up earlier in this upload. Is because that realism when he's on the stick, man, you're getting Will Ospreay. He's had the scratch and claw to get to the spot he's finally in right now, man. A lot of people were just not taking him serious. Oh, he's just a Japan guy. Oh, he's just an indie guy. Oh, he's a flipper and diver. But he connects on other levels, and you got to see that on the stick. And when he's in that ring, whether it's on the mic or whether he is competing, he truly feels he's the best. And you get that when he is spewing off. So for him to look right at Hangman with that conviction and amplification in his voice, and he states, it's not about your retribution, you trying to find your smile, Hangman. No, it's not about your retribution. It's about my ascension. This is about my time now. You're walking around here starting all these fires, and you're just overlooking people like me. That's been my whole career. That's done. And at the Owen, in that final, you will lose. I will win. I believe he said those words. You will lose. So damn, just so good, man. Hangman is the perfect person to ricochet that off of, because Ricochet was taking it all. Ricochet with that look, you know what I mean? Like, you know, MJF did that a couple weeks ago when they had that backstage segment. MJF was rocking off, and Hangman, at any moment you think Hangman could swing. Now the Callis family would come out. Don Callis would start spewing off, and Ospreay's like, you bring any two of your fam down here, and me and Hangman will. And he's got his hand kind of on Hangman as he's telling Callis, bring two dudes down here. We'll fight right now. And Hangman takes Ospreay's hand and kind of just slowly brings it back. Like, who you touching, fool? And Ospreay's looking at him like... And it ends like that. The Callis starts screaming like, you can't even get along through a promo. We absolutely take you up on the offer of a 2-on-2 fight. And then the family takes off, and it's just Ospreay and Hangman, and they finally let go. Hangman lets go of the... It's almost like there is still some of that respect there, right? Hangman didn't haul off. Ospreay didn't haul off for holding his hand too long. So there is some of that respect, but there's like, when that bell rings at Double Or, dude, that's it. Like, Ospreay, they both have so much to prove. Again, it is retribution versus ascension. I love that. I was just so good, and I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised that it had to do with Will Ospreay and Hangman Page. If you listen to BC over the past several weeks especially, I've been just telling you guys how Hangman and Ospreay, especially Hangman over the last several weeks, they're just, every segment they're in, I'm captivated more than I am 99.99% of anything else with wrestling. Hangman Page is that character where you could do so much with. Creatively, BC is always thinking, man, I would do this, I would do this. You know, there's not many characters you can say that about, right? Stone Cold Steve Austin was a character you could do so much creatively with. And again, it wasn't just that. Backstage, Ospreay and MJF. MJF says you're the reason they put directions on shampoo bottles. Even Renee Paquette's trying to hold back the laughter. And this time, like Hangman grabbed Ospreay's hand in that promo. In this backstage promo, MJF went to walk away. Ospreay grabs the arm of MJF, swings him around, and has some choice words to end that backstage promo. Just thought that was so well done. Ospreay really put his print on this Dynamite last night, and that was some of the best parts of the night. The other best part for BC was my girl Mercedes. This channel was founded upon two individuals, Bray Wyatt and Sasha Banks. For those that don't know, maybe you're newer to the channel. It was at a time where Vince was putting together bad television. Vince McMahon, it was just getting bad. It was starting to become repetitive. If only we knew that Hunter Helmsley would somehow make it even worse. I didn't think that was possible. More confusing. It's just a detriment to the talent, not just the fans. But that's when Vince was really it was not good. And there was only two individuals that were captivating me, Bray Wyatt and Sasha Banks. So yeah, Sasha Banks has always been just the top of the top for BC. And last night to see Mercedes finally do what I know Mercedes is capable of. Since she's gotten to AEW, it's just been about W's and titles, which has been missing from WWE when she was there as Sasha Banks. I get it, right? And I feel that that's what she should have been. You're talking about Charlie Flair being a 14-time champion. Sasha Banks could have been 25, and I would have believed it. But no, they only gave her, 6? 3 of those were for an 84-day total combination of title days because they just wanted to give it back to Charlie Flair. So there was 3 title reigns for Sasha Banks that lasted 80 some odd days because it was just to volley it back to patent the stats for Charlotte. So it's really only 3 title reigns in WWE for Sasha Banks. So I love watching her go around with 85 titles. Trust me, I love seeing all the W's because it's more than deserved. She's more than earned it. But you have to get storylines that are captivating us. And as much as I love Mercedes Moné, I've been saying that since she debuted. It's segments like what we got last night. That's going to do it. Because this was so well done. You had Renee Paquette backstage in a sit-down with Jamie Hayter. The Becky Lynch of AEW. I just always, when I first see Hayter, I can't help but think Becky Lynch. I don't know what it is. Probably the appearance. Or the way she was dressed last night. You ever see Scooby-Doo? Like one of the lady Scooby-Doo characters. She just comes across like she would fit good in that movie with what she was looking like last night. Jamie Hayter, man. She's good. And so Jamie's doing this good, right? In-depth, very, very intriguing sit-down interview with Renee. I don't think there's enough of those in pro wrestling. AEW has been trying to do them a lot more, like Shivani, FTR, and Cope a few weeks back before FTR turned. We need more of those because that's what really is, that's what makes people put down the remote and go, oh, this is kind of like, it's much more in-depth. You're much more focused in on it. You can do a lot with these type of things. And boy, did they last night. Jamie Hayter is speaking candidly to Renee. Out of nowhere, like an RKO, Mercedes jumps in the frame, grabs the hair of Hayter, goes to slam her into the wall. They run off down the hallway, and the camera kind of picks it all up before they head out a door. They come out through the balcony. This was a very unique arena. This is where AEW can benefit from going to these unique arenas because the way that the architecture is and the way that they were built and founded upon, man, it's so unique that it was almost like if you ever been to like a Broadway show and you have those little hangar areas, VIPs are just situated, priced areas, you know what I mean? If you want to pay an extra $100, you get this pristine VIP balcony section. It was like all these little hangars, and they came out through that door on one of these hangars, and at one point, Mercedes fell over the other. I couldn't see how low they were. I thought she was dropping 20 feet. It was only like 5, if even, 3, 4, 5 feet. But it was pretty badass because I was like, whoa, Mercedes, there she goes. And then Hayter jumps over and they brawl up to the top of the ramp. Mercedes is able to escape Jamie Hayter because she clearly has the upper hand. She runs away. Hayter stops at the ramp at the fans that are cheering her, and she just has some choice words. Mercedes comes running out. She's like, dude, if you're going to play to the crowd, all right, I'm going to get you. Tacks Jamie Hayter from behind, locks her into the statement, and Jamie Hayter is laid out at the top of the ramp. So Mercedes gets what she ultimately tried to do backstage in that interview. It took her a while. There had to be a chase. She took some stiff blows from Jamie Hayter, but the end result, Mercedes got what she wanted, laid out Jamie Hayter, sent a statement ahead of their Owen match in the finals. So yeah, man, I'm ecstatic because it's two individuals that I absolutely am a supporter of, and they did their thing last night, and it really helped to elevate this show into whatever it ended up becoming. Again, good in totality. That's in the eye of the beholder. They still have a lot of work to do. There's no doubt about that. But every time I see a Dynamite, I'm seeing glimpses that they are trying new things. And that's what I want to see, man. If I only got that from the other company, we could speak more positive. Even if you put together a bad show, as long as I see that you're attempting, you're trying to do better, right? AEW at least does that, man. It's the only time in the week where I get a segment or two that I'm actually interested in. So yeah, I'm absolutely giving props to Tony Khan. This is a hot take. I'm absolutely giving props to Tony Khan and AEW. Thank you, because without segments like that, I'd have nothing for the week, because SmackDown and Raw certainly is not doing it for me. NXT's good, by the way, but just like, when I say good, am I heightening that word? You know what? It's nothing ever on NXT that's like exceptional. NXT kind of plays it like NXT's never really bad. They're just never really too good. It's just like, yeah, NXT is watchable, right? The women really take NXT to another level, if any. Get it to that like midline. You know, the women really rock out. More than the men in NXT. I will easily say that. Ricky Starks, Trick Williams, Tony D. I get it. Really good talent. But the women, dude, come on. Stephanie, Julia, Jordan Grace, Roxy is still down there for some reason, playing in between with the main roster. But my girl Jada Parker, man. There's so many talents. You could put a world title on them right now for NXT and you totally believe it. There's just so many. It's a stacked roster. But Mercedes, yeah, man. Mercedes and Jamie Hayter. Good. So that, yeah, man. The promos were rocking last night. And just those sit downs. I wish we need more of those, man. They elevate stories like you would not believe, and you can do a lot from them. I love how they didn't just rest on that. Like I brought up Jim Ross being lit on fire from Kane during a sit down interview. You know, they decided to go the extra mile and just, hey, what if we started a little chase and brawl from this like that? Samoa Joe. No. Well, this is a little out of order now. And the reason, again, is because my Knicks were on, man, a huge W over the Celtics in the final seconds. We were down by 20 points. Second game in a row against the Celtics that was the case. We could have and probably should have easily lost both games. And we came back and won. So that was happening. My Yankees were going into the 10th inning against the Padres. We won via walk-off sacrifice fly. So yeah, I had to watch a lot of these segments out of order after that. So that's why some of this is, a lot of this might be out of order, guys. But I had to watch it in different kind of stages and in ways, really. But you guys don't need to know that, because the good news is I was able to catch it, most of this in totality, and now we get to talk about it. So again, this is going to be out of order a little bit. Like, for instance, we're going to go to the main event. Samoa Joe, Claudio. Samoa Joe taps out Claudio, and he and Powerhouse Hobbs post-match start a beatdown on Claudio, which included a steel chair. What made this good is that it was right in front of Mox. Mox was like in the crowd. He wanted to jump that barricade to help his buddy Claudio, but dude, Powerhouse is too much of a powerhouse right now. I mean, dude's looking like a brick wall. And you have Samoa Joe, and he's just Samoa Joe. I don't know if you ever want to face that dude one-on-one, period. So him and Powerhouse and Claudio is clearly laid out. Mox is like, I'd love to help you, Claudio, but I'm not going to do that. So Mox is just watching like, you son of a bitch, you fucking... And why this was good, this was a prelude, is because next week Samoa Joe is going to take on Mox. Steel cage match, I believe, too, right, for that title? That's massive, man. A steel cage match, Mox and Samoa Joe. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. And if this is the appetizer to get to that main course, destroying Claudio, man. Now, normally you say, man, you hate to see Claudio take an L like that. Claudio tapping out doesn't make sense, BC. True, if it's anybody other than Samoa Joe. Like, guys, this is not Jey Uso tapping out Gunther. Let's be honest. Let's give Samoa Joe some damn respect. That's his move. He locks that clutch on. You'd believe that. If you did the story correctly, I'd believe that Roman Reigns is tapping out from Samoa Joe, if you did it correctly. I think WWE fumbled on Samoa Joe 100 times. Samoa Joe's legit. He doesn't get the credit he has absolutely earned. So yeah, Samoa Joe tapped out Claudio. I'm not going to throw a fit on it. In front of Mox when you're trying to set up that cage match. Thought it was well done. MJF was out there last night. Trying to get into the Hurt Syndicate yet again. Hurt Syndicate's out there. They're having a back and forth promo with Who was out there? Who was it? Who got beat up by MJ? Top Flight, I believe. Top Flight was out there trying to say some words to Syndicate, but MJF attacks him from behind, and he starts destroying Top Flight by himself. MJF, he just got the beater on, and he's just like, he's trying to show Bobby Lashley he hurts people. In fact, after he was done beating up Top Flight, he got in the ring, he looks at Lashley, he says, I am MJF, I hurt people. So instead of giving him the up right there, Lashley says, next week, Max, next week, I'll finally give you my answer. Even though he's given his answer 85 times already. So now, I totally understand if some fans are thinking now we're dragging on too much. I've loved this story because it is a story. And they've done it. And if you ever want to know how fair and how down the middle Truthful BC is, remember when this started? Do you remember what I was saying? I was not a fan of this at all. MJF, Hurt Syndicate, didn't make sense to me. I said I'd let it play out, right? I mean, because Bobby Lashley, MVP, Benjamin, and MJF, I mean, they've all earned the right for fans to go, hey, I'm going to let you guys, you've earned the respect enough to the benefit of the doubt to do what you're going to do, and we should allow you that time, see if it works or not. So I said I'm going to let it play out because they've earned that. But I didn't see where this could possibly go. I was not down with it. As a creator that I am, I would never put them together. But they made this work, man. And on these Dynamite shows, I can easily say that is one of, some weeks, maybe the story that I was most into. When Dynamite went off the air, I could look back and go, yeah, that Syndicate shit was probably the best, man. Like, something as simple as just a thumb in the middle, like, do I go up? Do I go up? Right? For weeks, we've been doing that, and BC's like, Max goes down. But I'm hanging out. I'm like, if done correctly, man, it's something simplistic like that. That's it. That's all it takes, man. I said that about the Oompa Loompa that Roman Reigns was fighting for with Solo, and I think it was Jey Uso? Jey Uso, I believe, right? The Oompa Loompa, Oopa Fala, the red tribal lay. And, I mean, something just like that, man, you can make a whole feud about. And they did. And the Oompa Loompa, Oompa Fala, became more of what they were fighting for than the actual Universal Championship. Do you guys remember? The championship was secondary. When done correctly, any little thing can be... WWE tried to make a whole story on a secret. That was a little too juvenile. But after a while, it was kind of like, all right, enough with the secret. But something like that. Or The Rock whispering to Cody. Right? And he gives something to Cody, and what did he whisper, and what did he give to Cody? And oh my goodness, we'll wait months to try to find out. Something little if done correctly. So something like just thumb up, thumb down, boom, you could make a 2-month storyline on it, and they did. And I'm still captive. If you guys think it's dragging on now, I totally understand. I'm into it, and at least they give a definitive. It sounds like next week they're finally giving the final answer. After next week, I'm totally with you guys, man. Even if they do it in a right way to extend it another week. I'm not saying the storyline ends there, but we have to stop with the up and down after next week. That's going to be the culminating moment. Lashley has definitively said, next week, games are done. I saw you just hurt them. They were talking trash to us, and you took care of it. So, next week, I'll give you my final answer. Hurt Syndicate is just one of those, you know how I feel about MJF. One of the best talkers, one of the best in the wrestling world today. And I love what he said a couple of years ago now, right? Was it? When he said, I don't have to do flips and dives and risk my career or life for any of you. Because I make you feel. That's what he said. I just make you feel. I can go out there, clotheslines, body slams, drop a leg drop, maybe a punch, a kick. I make you feel. I don't have to do all that wild shit. Just for this is awesome. And then 2 minutes after the match, you forgot all about it. I always loved, man, that's one of the best promos of all time because there's so much truth to that. And again, it brings me back to why I like a Will Ospreay. It's not all the flips, dives, and spots and the woo wow and the 10-star matchups. No. Will Ospreay, when he just simplifies it, man. slow the pace, he's more than believable. So, MJF, highest of pedestals, and then Syndicate, man, they were done so dirty by Vince McMahon and WWE. There was no reason to kind of put them onto the side, and then they were done filthy. Dirty by Vince McMahon and filthy by Hunter Helmsley when MVP and Lashley were like, dude, we want to kind of reform under your guidance, but we think there's so much more to give and to offer, and the fans liked the Hurt Business. And Helmsley's like, no. Just said no. And he put Lashley with Street Profits and literally gave them no creative. Most weeks they were kept in catering. Lashley was then just let go, not re-signed, whatever it was. And then Lashley came out in an interview and said, I was never a Hunter guy. He didn't care for me. We never clicked. I didn't care for him. So I guess the writing was on the wall, man, and it shouldn't come by any surprise that under Hunter Helmsley, all of Hurt Business was out of the company. Vince did him dirty. Helmsley did him filthy. So yeah, I was always down when the Syndicate reformed in AEW. I just wanted storylines. We understand they can collect W's just like Mercedes. They can get titles. But are you going to give them a story I care about? Last night was cool because Mercedes was involved in something I cared about and was interested in. And Syndicate, yet again, involved in something I cared about and was interested in. There was a 6-man tag. I usually don't like these, and this was good in terms of skill and action and all that, but I just didn't care about it. I can't be more brutally honest than that. I did not care about it. It's just a 6-man tag, man, and this was the Bucks and Rico. I think they won this match. They defeated Speedball Mike Bailey, Swerve, and Briscoe. So, and again, the match from what I saw, good in terms of action, but that's not. I need more from my television wrestling show. But no harm, no foul. I mean, AEW, it's a lot more wrestling heavy, or supposed to be. I'm glad they're actually adding promos. A lot of diehard AEW fans probably don't like that because they pride themselves on being more wrestling based, but you have to remember it's a television show. You have to tell the stories, get to the pay-per-view, and that's where you can put on all the bangers you want and all the multi-star classics. But don't forget, the television shows have to set all of that up. You can't just have a bunch of random matchups. Because you do have to grow the business in the company. So I know a lot of fans might not like the promos or being too promo heavy, but when done correctly, guys, it's good. I mean, the Jamie Hayter thing with Mercedes, the Ospreay stuff, it's done correctly. So as long as we get that, no problem. If it's subpar, lazy promos, yes, then that's just like every other company then. We don't need that. So I didn't care about this 6-man tag match. That was the problem for BC. Just being uber truthful as I always am with you guys, just like this. And this is going to be a harsh critique, I understand, but it needs to be said. That's what we do. 44 Dive, amplified honesty. And I cannot be any more honest when I say that what I'm about to say, it has to go in AEW. And I keep this same energy with World Wrestling Entertainment. You guys know that. Fatal 4-ways, triple threats, and things of that sort. This is obviously a little different. This has... Switch that up a little bit. This has a little bit of a twist, but they're called Eliminator matches. Eliminators. And there's no purpose, man. There's no reason to put your champions in matchups, no title on the line, just to try to get to an individual that can eventually get your championship or the opportunity for such. It's so weird to see Toni Storm in a match that could potentially lead to a number one contender for her title, but she's in the match. And then last night, Toni Storm is literally going over Anna Jay, Thunder Rosa, and Penelope Ford. I believe Toni Storm pinned Penelope. Was the final sequence, final outcome there. So Toni Storm wins. It's just odd. And then they had another one. What was it? Okada overnight. And that was another eliminator. There's no purpose. You could use that time to build an actual story and feud or meaningful matter that has substance with your talent and whatever goal you're trying to accomplish. But these eliminator matchups, man, if this was in WWE, I'd be wanting to put my dome piece through a brick wall. In AEW, again, at least they're doing they're showing that they are trying new things and switching things up. But this is one of those things, if you truly are trying to listen to fans, switch things up, make things better, if you truly are, eliminator matchups, you may want to take a second look at that. I can't stand these concepts. I don't understand what it does, because you're just having another match that we just saw. Just now there's the title on the line. I couldn't stand that when Vince would do it all the time, and I can't stand it now already. There you go. Sorry, had to get a little amplified there, man. There's just no purpose for it. I feel it brings the shit. Hey, this match, an eliminator to try to get to the championship that the person in the match currently holds. I think maybe I don't even have it right. Maybe that's how confusing it is. I have no idea. But that's what's got to go. And then I want to end this review on Rhino returning. Yes, that's real. If you guys didn't catch the show, maybe you were living under a rock. Not a Dwayne Johnson, but you didn't hear. Rhino came back last night. Quick squash match, but it was good to see Rhino. Nick Wayne tops Rhino and continues his ascension. I think they're setting something up there with Christian, obviously. Christian just turns his back, walks away. That's the eventual goal. If anybody's upset that Rhino got squashed last night, they destroyed a legacy or something. I believe he's like from that area or something. So that's why they brought him back too. Guys, I'm sure Rhino's collecting a payday. Get out there, get some adulation from the fans. You're trying to put somebody over like Nick Wayne. It's going to take a lot more than Rhino. It's going to take a lot more than a Christian feud, but it's a start, I guess. But it was good to see Rhino. I had to mention that as well. Again, if I missed some stuff, guys, it's because this was kind of all over the place. The focus was really on my Knicks and then my Yankees because they took it into the 10th inning. But my Knicks slapping around the Celtics in the final seconds because before that, the Celtics were doing the smacking around. But my Knicks pulled out the back-to-back W's, man. We're going to New York's Madison Square Garden up 2-0. That's a position you want to be in. Guys, that's what I got for you. AEW Dynamite 5/7/2025. Until next time, and there will be that next time, 44 Dive, we are going to wrap it up. BC in the unit saying check you. Salute.